Thank you for joining me today. My name is Gianni Delerta, and today I have the CEO of VirtuWorks, Mr. Omar Armenteros, and on my left we have Mr. Michael Bumberg, the VP of Sales. And today we're going to be talking about how VirtuWorks and MSPControl helps office managers, going beyond what the typical IT or MSP does for office managers, like monitoring, help desk, and periodic maintenance. So let's get right into it, Omar.
Thanks, Gianni. VirtuWorks has taken a different approach at actually doing system maintenance and management for our customers. For the past 10 years, we've invested heavily into research and development and have been building our own software to replace the remote management systems that most ISPs use. What that has done for us over time is that it's allowed us to create a very efficient control interface. We call it, it's kind of like the VirtuWorks OS, right? Like probably heard some other companies call their software platforms operating
So that's
systems.
what you call MSPControl?
Right. MSPControl is our VirtuWorks OS. It's our operating system. It's basically a platform that we've developed. At the beginning, it was an open source project that was given to us by Microsoft. In the early days, we actually had some Microsoft programmers that were helping us. And over time, that changed as they developed Office 365. But for the most part, the platform is a self-service management platform where it allows our end users and especially office managers manage their users, their devices, manage their assets. It basically helps customers with their onboarding, offboarding, answering questions like how many licenses do I have? Who has what license? Who has what entitlements? That sort of thing.
Got it.
And it's a platform that we internally use day to day. Our technicians are constantly basically managing our customer accounts through it, and we make it accessible to our customers.
Got it. So I can imagine that the office managers are constantly, with Excel sheets and other documents, kind of like trying to make do with what they have.
Right.
But MSPControl kind of gives them a good portal to see everything.
Right. Our reports are very tailored to these processes because it's what we're doing all day long, right? Our customers are asking us, who's who has access to what, terminate this person, add them to a distribution list, and all this there are all these dynamic settings, right? That nobody really could wrap their head around. Our platform gathers them and gives a clear view to somebody of what's what, and helps them manage that.
So let me go over here to Michael. Omar mentioned user termination or turning on a user, turning off a user. Why don't you go a little bit deeper into like what that means? Because I know that an office manager, when there's a new employee, that's like they got to stop everything to kind of get that person going, and the same thing when they're terminating.
Yes, absolutely. And we use the word onboarding and offboarding. So, of course, when we're onboarding, we want to make sure that they have all the proper tools, all the everything assigned to them as they should and as they're required based on the policies that are set for the individual user. In an offboarding situation, which becomes a little more sensitive, right? You don't know if that employee's disgruntled or they're all upset. So the tool allows you to immediately lock them out, as Omar mentioned, back up any type of files, and also wipe out remote devices. So there is no possibility of access or any type of information that they're receiving. So that's a key function from an offboarding perspective.
Specifically for an office manager, what it would do for them is guarantee them, through reporting, that we do have the settings in the way that they wish them to be, right? A traditional MSP or somebody else might not be able to produce the reports that would actually let them see, hey, are all my Intune settings correct? Or, do we have 100% compliance with our Intune or with our device manager or with our MFA, right? We're building a lot of reports to help the office managers, the decision makers inside of the organizations that we support, to understand their state, understand what they need to do to improve, and basically, give them the ability to actually help go look at these settings and stuff on their own.
Got it. Because that when you run that report, you're going to see that there's remnants or people kind of like
So
stuck behind.
right. So specifically about user terminations and what we call officially here is it's onboarding and offboarding, right? That specific process, how it helps an office manager or any organization person that's responsible for actually managing who has access to something. We provide a workflow, where we ask all the right questions. Hey, who's this person? What do they need access to? Do they need access to the remote apps? What apps do they need access to? What security groups should they be part of? And all this is like in a
This
wizard.
is on a per user basis.
Per
like
user
a
as
per
you create
employee?
the users, and all the questions that the person has to answer specific to that organization.
Got
Choose these groups, choose these, and it helps them set up the user. And then once they press go, the system goes out and it provisions all their services, right? It'll provision their folder, their cloud folders, their private folders. It'll provision their device software, basically allow them to install and our device agent, when it gets installed on a remote computer, it actually deploys all of our tools, our web root tools, or anything else that needs to deploy, and all the settings on that workstation are controlled by the settings inside of MSPControl, right? Yeah. So it's a very coherent system that helps us, from the point where the user's created all the way to the point where the user gets a device and we have to deploy all the tools to them, and then through the lifetime of that device, reporting back information about what's going on with the device, what's installed, what's not installed, and keeping an asset, database history of everything.
Yeah.
So at any point in time,
and historically too.
Yeah,
when
historically,
when it was there, when it was removed, and all that.
So we're able to come back and actually get see all this stuff about the organization. And so could the office manager without our help. They're given access to the platform. They log in on their own, and they have access to everything that we have access to as the provider. Every single time I'm asked to delete an employee from an email system, the first thing I'm asked is, could we keep a copy of their email, right? And this question is asked over and over every single time. So years ago we decided to invest money in developing an automated archiving system. So now when somebody deletes a user in our system, we enforce that their backup is automatically their PSTs and files are backed up and stored in an archive. For instance, another big one people ask us about all the time is a distribution membership report, right? Where people want to know who's members of what distribution list, right? So usually the office manager is responsible for managing distribution list membership. When you have a bigger place, you might have hundreds of distribution groups, right? So we're able to automatically sending this office manager this Excel spreadsheet.
Making sure that everybody that needs to be in those groups is there, or the ones out need to be out of it.
It's a process that the office manager needs to audit, right? So we provide them the report that they would use to audit the group membership automatically, right? And we can set it on a schedule. So like that, there's a lot of little, nitbit tricks, that are provided in the panel that basically help us, provide a consistent environment for users.
So I think that wraps it up. I think we covered a lot of different topics on how VirtuWorks and MSPControl can help office managers just not deal with the IT portion of their job, right? They can really focus on what they need to do. So if you're an office manager and interested in getting help and in managing the IT part of your workday, please make sure to reach out to us at virtuworks.com or just give us a call and we're here to help. Thanks so much and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.